there. Welcome back to another episode of I Am Not Naming This Podcast. I hope that you are feeling fantastic and ready to tune in because I have a special episode for you. Let's dive in, shall we? Yay! All right.
We're
Here
back.
we are. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, speaking of pivoting, we are pivoting into this second interview now.
Yeah, we are. We're warmed up now.
Exactly. Oh, so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I just must introduce you to my incredible friend. She is a creator with a heart of gold, and I am proud to say that she is the owner of What's That Whisper, an amazing inspirational line that started off with clothing and has grown to include a lot more. And she is also the host of What's That Whisper podcast. And so I am thrilled to introduce you to Heather Dimick.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. You make me feel good, so that helps.
Oh, you make me feel good too. You are incredible. I am just so fortunate to have you as a friend and as a guest here today because it is a treat for my audience to meet you.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Hello, audience.
And so I just have to start with the origin story because it's so fun how we met. It was so spontaneous, may call it random. It just all fell into place in such a beautiful way. And it started because we are in the same coaching community and we were actually grouped together. So that's how we initially met online. We all had the same starting letter of our last names, D. So we were in the D group.
I was trying to remember how that happened.
Yes, yes. And so we would meet to have evening Zooms and just mastermind. And it became so fun. And then we really got to connect on one day when it was just you and I. And we just dove in. And I was like, well, friend for life. There it is.
That.
And then we got to meet in person because we went to an event in LA. Our flight times were so similar. And so the first time I saw you before my very eyes was like on the sidewalk at the like little like airport bus station in LA. Do you remember that?
Oh, I don't think I would have found that. Would not have found my way around if it wasn't for you.
That was so much fun. So we then proceeded to just hang out the whole trip. So you rented a car, drove us around. We just got to see, I mean, gosh, we went to the pier, we went out to eat. We literally vacationed together.
Basically BFFs already.
Yes. And it's just incredible that, yeah, our first meeting was a vacation together, and I'm here for it.
Sometimes you just know.
It's true.
Yeah. Friendships and relationships don't need to be hard. You just know if they're going to work without really thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Some things can be hard sometimes, but then you're like, oh, see, now we can talk about, well, why is that hard for me?
Yes.
But none of my girlfriends have been hard, and neither has my husband. That's pretty easy.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. How everything just fell into place exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yeah. And I'm not saying maybe I need to spend more time with my friends, or maybe we need to work on my marriage a little bit or have a better relationship. There's all those kinds of things as well, but things should not be hard when it comes to relationships.
That is so amazing. And I think that's a really important message to tell people because there are a lot of instances where things are really hard and they don't have to be.
No.
Okay, so we know that an instant connection is a real thing.
Yes.
What else would you say makes relationships really easy?
Maybe having the same outlook on life, but it doesn't mean you have to I mean, you and I have some similar interests, but I also think that we probably have a lot of things that are not in common. But we have like a direction we want to go. I think having fun and being lighthearted is really easy with a lot of my friends. I guess trying to think about the friends I've had for over 20 years, it just seems to click. Like we don't judge each other. You're just there for each other. And I was thinking about judging the other day, and I was like, maybe I just stop judging people and just start seeing people. Not saying that I'm a judger, but it could just be like, oh, what is she wearing? Like, like instead of, or why is she thinking she needs to wear that, right? So, or just putting yourself in their shoes versus judging them for however somebody's being.
Yeah, because then you are looking at it from this loving place. And I am certainly someone who has gotten to experience just how loving you are and just caring and considerate and kind. I see all of that and I feel all of that. And it's just incredible. And so that is a really beautiful way to look at it.
I also think that each person can be really hard on ourselves, that maybe we don't need it from everybody else. And I've really been thinking about this a lot, right? Yeah, you can be really hard on yourself. And then you're like, well, you should do this, you should do that. But honestly, sometimes you just have to be there for somebody because they'll find their way through eventually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I have a very positive grandma who's very outgoing. I think that really helps. And by surrounding yourself with like upbeat people or people that just don't let a lot of things bother them, even though we all probably complain about something, I think that really helps. You're like, oh, or help me get through this. Why am I so blah about this or negative about that? I think that really helps to have that kind of relationship with people.
Oh, that's so good. Your grandma is really upbeat. And so I imagine that without even quote unquote giving you a lesson, she was able to just demonstrate that for you.
I don't even know if I've seen her tired or down for a day. We've talked about it, but then we just cheer each other up. And I was
That's
like,
so
today you're
cute.
allowed to do nothing. Maybe you should just sit in those feelings of feeling like, not so great or sad or missing your husband or missing a friend or whatever reasons that pop up into our life. We really, and said a long time ago, I was like, I think I just want to be here to feel my feelings for life, right? And I think sometimes that's hard
Oh,
because I think we all have feelings we don't even want to face.
oh, yes.
You're like,
And
amen.
yes, it is so true. I have this conversation over and over again, and it never gets old because people need to really hear that and get it and do it. Actually feel. Because you know what happens when we don't feel, then we end up just piling it on. It's like baggage. We're walking around with all of these unresolved feelings, and it gets really heavy after a while. So I love that your grandma is so upbeat and was able to demonstrate that for you. What other lessons did she teach you over the years? What lessons did you learn from whether it's your grandma, parents, other
I,
family members, even
uh,
friends?
yeah, I think my grandma's very nurturing and she's probably over taking care of people. You guys know what I mean, right? You're like, okay, they can do that themselves,
Yes.
but she loves to give so much, and she's even done so much more the last 10 years. I mean, that's what fills her cup every single day. So that's really beautiful to see. She's like, I just made everybody banana bread. I cook for them. I make their plates. I quilt this. So she does so many amazing things, and she is 85 this year. She just turned 85, so she's gung ho, right? She's like, I don't have time to be depressed or be sad. I do think that a lot of my childhood, when things were chaotic and not always perfect, that I had to find the silver lining. So I think that's just me naturally because everything can be crappy, but I'm not going to feel crappy. Everything
Mm.
could be scary or whatever was going on in my household. Let's just say alcohol or drug abuse, right? So, and then I had to take care of my brother who's 5 years younger. So I had to do a lot of that kind of stuff. But I also had my grandparents there. So that was, I always knew I was loved by everybody. So I also feel like that's filled my cup to not feel like I was alone. So, and I knew my mom and everybody loves me too. No matter, I think, we all have somebody in our lives that struggles with something, right? But it's not because they don't love you or they care about you. It's really about how they feel about themselves, which is really sad. And then maybe I just came out a ray of sunshine. Who knows? But but it's also very monotone sometimes.
Thank you so much for sharing that because I really appreciate your vulnerability, and it's not something easy to share, and yet you did it with such tact and ease.
I've been
And
working on that.
oh, well, you are doing a phenomenal job because I can only imagine that it's really difficult and has been really difficult, especially as a kid. So the fact that you can see and even share what was going through your mind is really amazing. And what was going through your mind, from what I'm hearing, is not focused on you, it's actually focused on them. And it's that caring and that love that you're able from that place to say, I know that it meant that they weren't okay, and not that it meant that there was something wrong with me.
Well, and that message needs to be clear. I don't know if I always thought that, but I think I probably knew that without really realizing that I thought that. I think having sleepovers at grandma's and then things being okay at home for a while and then switching gears. But that's why I moved out at 17 because I knew I needed a better life and a better opportunity because my grandma moved state. So then I had to. Not that I didn't follow her because she was traveling the country, but we ended up kind of close to each other. So I think sometimes nobody really wants to take life in their own hands at 17, but I think our happiness is in our own hands, you know? But sometimes it's really hard to shed those things, those feelings that we don't want to get to. Yeah.
Oh, our happiness is in our own hands. That is so true and so beautiful. And you have come to this place where you are taking that responsibility for your happiness. And also, as you so eloquently put, you didn't always do that or feel this way. It has evolved. And so, what you're showing us is that there can be real, substantial things going on in life, and yet you can still thrive as you are right now. Because looking at you, it makes sense who your grandmother is, because that nurturing side of you, I felt immediately when we met. I felt so taken care of.
I felt like I was like, people have been calling me this my whole life. I might as well step into her and stop trying to ignore her. That's who I am, right? I take care of people at work. I take care of my kids. I've done it when I was in high school. I think I should just own it.
You own it and you exude it in such a gorgeous way.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. What you have done is not easy. And I know we're barely scratching the surface. Like, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. But what you have shared, even in just these few minutes, is so impactful. And I really hope that people can take something away from that. And I know that it will change lives hearing something like that, because whatever it is that people are going through, they're able to turn it into something incredible like you have. And so, even though it was difficult for you, you left at 17. And what was next for you? What happened after that?
It's so funny. Sometimes I try to tell my kids my story and it's too confusing. Not necessarily this part, but I moved out with a boyfriend at that time at 17 down to by Seattle. My mom's friend happened to live in this apartment complex, so it helped us get a place there. Then I finished high school and got a job, worked at McDonald's again. Then we ended up moving to another place and getting roommates eventually. Then I ended up in Oregon, like after I graduated high school. So, and then he was like, "Well, did you do sports?" I'm like, "No." I mean, I did like basketball in junior high, but everybody was getting practice outside of school, so I wasn't that great. But I was like, "Well, I played the violin. I did some other things." But like when my kids are all in sports, it's hard. So now it's fun to live vicariously through them, right?
Aw.
So yeah, so then I think, but once I moved back to Oregon, my mom ended up here. And so she ended up in Washington and then ended up here and then worked for the post office for a long time. So we had a good relationship for a long time. She's just struggling right now. So our relationship has always been really good, but she just has her own struggles.
Yeah, as we all
Yeah.
do. Oh, sending her so much love, Heather.
Yeah, she needs it. Yeah. And then I was thinking today, I was like, maybe I need to be her savior, but I can't. But I'm like, maybe I'm put on this earth. I don't even know. You know, you wish you could be somebody's savior. And then maybe I said this on my show, but I was like, being that C student, I was like, well, I guess because I was a C student and not allowing people to help me because I could do it at 17 and then I could do this and then I do that. And then I'm like, well, I got this. I've been doing it my whole life. Those are really hard to break those habits, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Yeah. You're just like, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing this, but this is why I was doing it this way.
right. Yeah, it's so hard. And I think that part of it is feeling like almost as if love has some type of conditions where, oh, no, 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 I can't receive this because I didn't earn it. And so it can't happen, right? There's some type of pattern sometimes, and I don't really know when it is. It's different for everyone. But at some point, sometimes we're just taught that when you do this thing, then you get to be loved, then you get to be cared for, but you have to do this thing. And it's just not the case. So that could be one of the ways it manifests itself in adulthood is having that difficulty receiving.
I mean, totally. I was going to say, what about if you're like, well, you can't have dessert unless you eat your dinner? Like, there always has to be a reward for us. And we learn it from tiny things like that, right? You're like, oh, no, nope, I can't do that because I haven't done this, right?
That is a perfect example. It's true because child rearing honestly is not easy by any means. Having kids is difficult, and kids really only learn based off of how much their parents can teach, and parents can only teach based off of how much they know and they've experienced. And so sometimes we have those same cycles replaying over and over again for generations simply because the parents may not know a better way. And we can only teach what we know. We can't teach what we don't know.
Totally. Like, even if you got in a fight with a friend or a significant other, and I even asked my boys, I'm like, how am I annoying? Like, what bothers you about me? Or what could I work on? And last night I was like, I'm sorry I got upset at you. And then I was like, you do know. And then he's like, you're the best mom. So it's just like, I try to be open and vulnerable about my own mistakes too, because I was like, this is my first time parenting.
Oh,
I don't know what I'm doing. Just be a good person. Just be happy with yourself. Allow yourself to be happy and be a good person. Honestly, is all they need to do. And have a good work ethic, right? Don't be too lazy.
that's so good, Heather.
Yeah. But don't forget to fill your cup, right? Because it's like even all my kids could be in sports and have to go from one sport to the next sport and yada yada and school assignments. Well, now they're told they have to be doing this to achieve this to get that. So that's even got to be hard for them at times. They don't even know they're probably doing it yet, but that's kind of what we're teaching them. They have to work hard, not necessarily, right? Some of those things just come easy.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Well, and we're taught a lot of things. The one thing that came to mind in you saying that is the saying, work smarter, not harder.
I say that a lot in my head.
Yeah, because we could say that we're working right now because I'm interviewing you, you just interviewed me. We both have podcasts, but does this feel hard?
Not at all. I could do this a couple more hours.
Right. Like it's so easy. Like who says that you have to work hard and it has to be a drag? It really doesn't. It gets to be whatever it is that we decide it's going to be.
Yeah, like I've always liked what I do for a living in retail, but now I've even been trying to be like, can this just be fun all day and not get into everybody's woes?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, I
it
mean,
can.
and I sometimes I fall in the trap. That's okay. I've left work for reasons, you know, but now I'm trying to be even lighter because I feel like, especially when you're there to serve a customer or take care of somebody, you really want to be on your best behavior and be in
It's
your
true.
best mindset, right? Because you, I mean, and sometimes you could be grumpy, and then you're like, "Hey, how are you today?" And you're like, "Oh, I feel better." Like, because you got to get it. I told you I made a shirt that says "Get out," always in my head. Because when we get out of our head, it's so much better.
Yes, it's so true. And you are such a great living example of that, of just being able to get out of your head and just love people and really see people, which is so incredible. Being in your
Yeah,
presence is just amazing.
that's really
It's,
nice.
yeah, it's true. It's so true. Okay, so take me through your young adult into adulthood.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're hanging out in Oregon, your mom's there, living life, and what happens next for you? And what was maybe one thing that really helped to shape who you are today that happened in your adulthood?
Um, okay. Well, after when I moved here with the boyfriend, I had to break up with him because I started going out. And so that's what shaped me. I was 20 and there was a club called Up Front and it was under 21 and under. So I would go dancing every day I could. So I'm hitting the techno clubs. And then I would end up in the drag queen clubs. And then so he never wanted to go out with me. You can't stop laughing.
Oh, that's so funny. I know. I'm trying to keep it together. I try not to laugh. Well, I do laugh audibly, but I try to control like as much as I can so that it doesn't pick
Are
up
you
my
just picturing
laughter.
me dancing?
I didn't even picture it. Heather's dancing right now, cracking me up.
Because I've been thinking about that because I was like, I miss dancing. But it just like brings out your free spirit. And and that's where I have let loose and forgot time and all that. And then I mean, I clubbed for like 4 or 5 years. And then I would go maybe 5 nights a week. So that helped a lot. And that's actually, I met my husband at a club.
Do tell.
Do tell. Yes, we're all listening. Um, he went to school in Utah, but was from here. Came up one year, saw me at the club. I had nothing to do with him. I had a boyfriend at the time, sort of. And then he saw me 1 year later. He had actually, it's so much better when he tells the story because when he was gone, he wrote me a letter and he burnt it before he came back up to Oregon the second time and saw me at the same club. Then it was history, basically. I think what the
Oh,
most interesting part was, I was like, wow, he sure is asking me a lot of questions about myself.
we like
So,
that.
yeah, so we hung out all night. And then he had to go back to Utah. So then we wrote a lot of letters back and forth.
You
So
guys
those are,
became pen pals?
we sure did. I mean, I honestly, I don't even know how thick the first letter was that I sent him because I told him everything. That's pretty sweet. See, you just know when you're going to be friends.
Oh, you just know.
Yeah.
That's
And then, yeah,
incredible.
well, the night he came to my house, my friend childhood friend I grew up with, she just had a baby like on my birthday. So she was at my house. But I mean, I brought him home the first night, but he fell asleep when I left the room. It was like 5 in the morning. It was a very innocent night.
This is
That's
so adorable.
it's pretty cute. But it's like it's so good because he talks about how infatuated he was about me seeing me there. But it's kind of cool if we really think about it now that he burnt the letter and let it go and it actually happened again.
Oh, God is so
Because I
good.
because when he was gone for that whole year, I didn't obsess over him. I don't. He's like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like, "I don't know, maybe." Am I
That's right.
supposed to? Yeah. But that whole year was fun because I think there was a couple of years. Then I got to live by my well, no, I just got to be myself and live kind of by myself. But I got a new roommate who's one of my best friends, so that was fun. Because then you're like, I'm just going to do what I want. I don't have to do what anybody else wants. I'm single now. I can just do whatever. Everybody needs that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you said, kinda about the ex. So you had to just kind of get out of that it's complicated
Oh, he started
situation.
dabbling. He started drinking and dabbling in drugs. I was like, I left that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
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 And like, I don't mind sharing my story. I just feel bad because people are still alive to hear. Like,
Oh,
I don't want anybody to feel bad that I'm sharing their story, but maybe most people wouldn't even care, or even hear this. But like, because I've toyed about talking about my mom and stuff, but maybe it could be good for her to hear what I think.
I do think it's different for everyone, and it really just depends on where you're at in your own journey and
Yeah.
how much you want to share about your own life. Because the way, like I used the word tact earlier, and I am doubling down on that because, yeah, there is also a way to talk about your story and do it in a tactful way and do it from a place of this is the impact on me and this is my journey and never disparaging anyone. So I think you're doing a great job at that, of really just sharing your story and your truth.
Yeah, because otherwise we could turn it around to blaming your life on other people. And
Oh,
no, thank you.
yes, Heather.
Am I right? It's really, that could be easy to do. And I'm sure I've had moments where I'm just like, that's all your fault. Well, or maybe it's how I looked at it.
Oh, yes, yes. Can we just talk about that? Because that victim mentality is what I'm hearing you say is that people really do walk through life blaming their life experiences on others. And not only does that make someone else out to be the victim, it puts them in such a disempowering state. And how do you move from that state? Being in a state of disempowerment is so debilitating sometimes that it makes even the easiest of tasks difficult. So the fact that you can look at it in a way that is surpassing all of the nonsense and really stepping into who you are is just so inspiring.
I think it could be hard for people sometimes, for sure, definitely. Like I always hate, like, I mean, people hate their jobs. We hate all kinds of things. And we're going to start with my grandma because when I was young, let's see, she left the States when I was 16. So I hung out with her a lot then, and I still do. But she would do my aunt's laundry for all of her and her kids. My aunt was an adult. She would help her pay her bills. Now, I've told you my grandma's very good at giving, right? So, and then you watch that, and then she'd help my mom pay bills or whatever, and things happen. I'm so grateful for all that, right? But does a 20 something year old, or she was probably in her late 20s, does she really need your mom to do your laundry? If you had a full-time job and you're taking all your kids to school and you had no time, maybe once in a while, but not at her house when it's like piles. So, and then that's whatever my aunt's playing, and she probably believes she was a victim of a lot of things, and I can't really talk to her anymore, but victim mentality, right? So, I mean, I think sometimes even my mom blames me for things that she can't see my kids enough and all that stuff. And I'm just like, that's you. So it's real. I think you have to step back and look at the bigger picture to really see if you're playing a victim or if somebody's thinking they're the victim from you, and maybe just look at the whole entire picture, right?
Yes, such wise words, Heather.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure my grandma helped me out in my apartment and stuff, but we do help each other out, but I repay her. I either repay her in just love or repay her in gifts or, repay her with money, however it is. But it's when we abuse those friendships and those people that we love, then you're playing the victim, right? You feel like everybody owes you.
Mm,
And, it's not a very good place to be.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true because then how do you have relationships? Like you said earlier, relationships get to be easy and fun and this instant connection and just such a beautiful unfolding.
I mean, if I was sitting here with you, what can I get from Shernice this whole entire time? I mean, I get so much from you, but I don't think that. I just feel that. And you'd be like, God, she just takes from me, and all she wants is take, take, take. And then I don't think you would be reciprocated for that. Like when I go out with friends, sometimes I buy them coffee, sometimes they buy me coffee. We don't really even think about it. We just do it,
Yeah,
And if you're always thinking about, man, that one friend always has me pay the bill, you know? It's not that they're not good friends, but it's just like they don't want to take care of you as much as you want to take care of them or something like that.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's incredible. I am just sitting here listening to you and just taking it all in because you just have such a way of being such a loving presence and also a stand for people maintaining their own personal power. And so, what I'm hearing is that being in your world also means that people get an invitation to step into their power.
I mean, I hope so. And that's what I want to invite people to do more to hear their own whispers.
Yes. And that brings me to this lovely company that you have created. And I have a feeling that the things that we've talked about leading up to this have all made an impact and perhaps even led you to building the What's That Whisper brand. And so I would love to hear about how that company came to fruition. And I also would love to give my quick testimonial because your company is amazing. And I remember going to the product store, and what I was looking for was like some workout gear. And I saw t-shirts and I was like, you know what? I love working out in tanks. Is that something that you have? And at the time you said no, but I'll create it. And I
And
was
I
like,
did.
yes, you did. Not only did you create it, I mean, it was like instant, Heather. It was so fast. I felt so seen and cared for. I just want to let you know that because I was like I see what's here and maybe I won't ask. I'll just get a t-shirt. And I'm like, no, I really want to wear this to the gym because I have so many friends at the gym and I feel like it's the perfect place to just advertise it, just be like, hey,
Yeah, hey, what's up?
my friends, clothing line here. And I just thought, let me just ask and see. And sure enough, you created it. I got a shirt that says synchronicity because it's one of my favorite words. And it's so beautiful. And everything. I mean, the color, the font, it's so sleek and amazing. I just love your products. I absolutely love them.
You also got one in the wrong size or something, and then I sent you something else for free, right? Like I forget the whole story.
Yes, because you know what? I didn't realize my size had changed because I'm on this fitness journey, all that good stuff. And I was like, oh crap. I'm like, Heather, it's too big. I'm like, okay, how do I send this back to you? And if it's not possible, it's fine. I can like tie it in the back or something. But again, it was just one of those things where I'm like, let me just see. If it's too cumbersome, don't worry about it. And you were like, no, 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 I'm sending it to you. Keep the other one. You can gift it. And I was like, Heather, I appreciate that because that is what gets people to really like love and appreciate a brand, being seen and cared for.
Most definitely, because the brand isn't really for me. for you.
Exactly. And you have all
Yeah.
of these inspirational quotes on your teas and now like mugs and all kinds of things. And
I'm working on a bunch more right now.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, I'm ready to order some more stuff
Yeah, that's cute.
because I'm really excited about it. And I also want to say that I got a thank you note from you in the mail. And that was just so appreciated. And again, showing you going the extra mile and really putting love and care into your business. So I am going to let you tell me just all about the formation and where you guys are now. But I just really wanted to express my appreciation to you.
Well, thank you.
And yes, yes, you're welcome. And I also want to let my audience know that when you're finished watching this episode, you should head over to whatsthatwhisper.com and check out everything Heather has to offer
Yeah.
and place an order because you are going to love it. I can just say too, because I'm let me just mention, I feel like I just had a little piece of it now because if you see a tank that you like, then just think of me.
Yeah. Well, we can make sure we give your audience a 30% discount. So you can type in Shernise 30 and I'll set that up later today so it'll be ready.
Oh my God, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. It's my honor. It's my privilege.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm telling everybody.
Yeah. Well, none of this has been planned. Okay. But I started listening to Kathy Heller, Don't Keep Your Day Job during COVID. I was like, I need something outside of my box. I don't know what I plugged in, but she popped up, of course. Then she had Allison J. Prince on there, who does Because I Can, and she does How to Sell Online. So I was like, well, I can do that. Then I did her course. And then that's how it all started. So then I started building my website and building product. And it's been a few years now. And then listening to how to sell online basically is what she teaches. So learning that. And then now I've been growing and doing things. And somebody asked from the group where I'm at. And I'm like, well, I kind of pivoted and started a podcast. This is still there on the burner, just slowly cooking. But I want it to be a place where you can just feel inspired. I mean, I have some that just say, don't limit yourself. And then it has like a taller flower because you're the one that's still growing tall, not being small. Chase the dreams that are chasing you. Let's see. Change your mind, change your life. And let's see. And taking time for me where she's meditating. Because sometimes maybe we could even talk about coaching. Not everybody can hire a coach and sometimes you just wear a simple reminder, right? Or you wear your favorite pair of jeans because they make you feel so good during the day. Now you can put on your favorite sweatshirt or your favorite tea or sip from your favorite mug and be like, I got this. I can follow my own dreams and listen to my own whispers. So that's just, I want to inspire people that way with just like a tiny little affirmation that turns into something bigger.
I love that so much.
I don't think you'll find the synchronicity sweatshirt on there. So Shernise might have the only one of a kind because I think it's trademark. So now I can't have it on there unless I add something. So maybe I'll tweak something
Oh my
special.
goodness.
Because once they're trademarked, you can't make money on someone else's trademark, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, well, I'm glad I got it when I did then.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I'm excited to get a lot more. It makes sense, Heather, that you have this business because you just embody it. And I know it's not easy, but you make it look easy because that's just how well you do it. And the same way that you are helping people just by telling your story, you can also help them to put on that sweatshirt, that tee, or sip from that mug and be reminded of who they are, that they can just wake up even just a little bit more because we can't sleep forever. At some point, we do need to just get up.
Gonna have like bedhead forever. I
Bedhead
mean,
is not, it's not a forever thing. That's
no.
not And so that is just a beautiful reminder to people to remember who they are and to feel encouraged.
I mean, just a simple reminder, it could be like when someone uses a cup or whatever, you're like, I got this. I can make the world a better place just by taking care of me. Right. And then then everything becomes a trickle effect and those around you are affected. It doesn't mean we have to move big things or mountains. It could just be your home life. It could just be your friends, right? It could just be filling your cup in a new way that you haven't even thought about it.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes we make things so hard. And I think people talking about manifesting and making things happen, I'm just like, well, I just manifested. We're having pizza tonight. I'm just like, that's what I want. That's what we're doing. I mean, yes, some things are harder than others, but we can make things happen. I created the life I already have. We forget to see where we've come from.
Right.
Right. And you're making me want to share my story more in my podcast, and I probably will because I did start the other day because I talked to my brother for like 2 hours and asked him all these questions because he was 12 when I moved, and then he lived with my dad. So, and then my dad became an alcoholic. So all of that kind of stuff, all these great people, but then that kind of takes them down a little bit. And he wasn't mean. I don't think my parents have never been mean. My mom has been depressed, but neither of them have been mean alcoholics. But so now talking to him and that friend I grew up with, I was just like, I think I need to tell some more stuff. And even my brother said some things I don't even remember. You're like, oh, and they're not big things. He's like, remember that dog we had? I was like, no, must not have had the dog for very long because I don't remember it.
Oh, it's always interesting because we take different memories with us. Everyone has a different vantage point. So even on this call right now, my experience isn't your experience, right?
100%.
And everyone listening, they're listening to the same words that we're
But
saying, but they're perceiving it differently.
for sure.
And that is interesting. What also is interesting and what popped into my head as you were talking about your family is that it's not a coincidence that you have now created a business that's based upon principles that you want your loved ones to have.
Yeah. I made a shirt, it has a bunch of quotes on the back of the shirt. And I was thinking of my mom, so yeah, you're right. I mean, because I look at people and like maybe our own struggles that we all have, and we could all relate to all these things. And I'm just like, well, maybe if we just kind of looked at it this way, it would lift us up a little bit. You're right. Thanks for helping me bring that to surface.
Oh, you're welcome. It's so easy for me to see all of your beauty and grace. So I am delighted to bring that to surface.
It's nice that you are open to see that. Thank you so much. You're very complimentary.
Oh, you're welcome, love. It is true. It's amazing. And it's also encouraging. It's also brave because I know that it takes a lot to start a business. And yet you did, and you didn't let it stop you. And you have built something that truly speaks to you. And then you are sharing it with the world. You're sharing the origin story. You're sharing who you are. I see you also on social media wearing those sweatshirts and t-shirts and everything. Like you are doing it because you are your own brand. And hearing this from you is a reminder to anyone who's listening right now of their greatness.
We all have it. That's for sure. You got to step in your power, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it is amazing because God is so good. And I'm just so grateful because he really does help us turn that pain into purpose.
Yeah.
And you have found yours. And it's so amazing to watch. I am ecstatic that I get a front row seat.
VIP, baby.
Yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
I like to look at it.
Only the best for you.
And you, my love, I am just so proud of you. And I would love to know now I don't know if you can tell me like what products you have coming up. I can just kind of start getting an idea of what I want to get. But if you can't, that's fine. We can wait.
Oh, I'm working on some manifester stuff. I'm really excited. So, yes. And then I have a couple other ones. So one that says be fierce,
Ooh.
right? And I mean, you're saying that I'm doing all this. It's taken a while. And yes, I want to have that baby cooked already. Like, let's go. Show me the baby. Let's go. I'm waiting. I've been waiting for so long. But I have to sit and remind myself, oh, well, your plate's full, which I love that. I have so many opportunities and so many good conversations with ladies. And I don't think I'd be the same if I just hurry up and threw it in the oven. It was already cooked super fast, right? Just like you were talking about doing your real estate thing, and it takes a while to build. And like we all go to college for 4 or 5 years. Does it, you're not done overnight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And some days, but I'm getting really good at slowing down doing that. It's teaching me that and how to use my time wisely. So here's a silly example. The other day, I was just going to get in the shower because I get in the shower right before I take my son to school so I can put my makeup on in the car because then I take my other kids to school.
Mhm.
My son jumped in the shower. I was like, gosh, darn it. This is like my 2 minute window, maybe four. It was short that day. I was like, well, what can I do? I went and picked out my outfit because I have to, like, I have a really small window when I get back. So that's how I try to look at things with working on my business, right? Or maybe I only have 20 minutes to make a post. I can do that, or write a new thing, or come up with a new idea that I want to make. I don't know. Just little things like that. We have to use our time wisely instead of saying we don't have time to do things, because I do have a lot of things going outside and things I want to do, like hang out with friends or nothing.
Yes, yes, all of it.
My mother-in-law says I don't do nothing. I'm like, she's kind of right. But I can do, like, I've been in my sweatpants and I didn't shower or do my makeup for days, but I still got some projects done, but I didn't have to do me. I took that off the list for the day. We've all been there.
You get to just do what feels like the next best thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're taking care of yourself, your family, and the world, people who are buying your products and wearing them and being reminded of that inspirational message that's on them. You're doing all of these things. So, yeah, you get to relax too.
I don't know, am I doing them or do I get to do them,
Oh, absolutely.
In those moments I feel stressed, I have to remind myself I don't have to do any of this. I don't have to learn how to edit a podcast or create a website, you know, but it's fun along the way. So if I remind myself with all my posts or all the crap I've learned, I've come pretty far.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're doing it because these are passions of yours and you're sharing them with the world so graciously, and lucky for us that
Yeah.
we get to experience your gift.
We got to keep putting our gifts out there because I think everybody needs them. Because I was thinking, I was like, you're holding on to your gift too tight. If people are holding on to their gift too tight, they got resentment, they got anger, they feel frustrated, they feel sad. And maybe, but sometimes we don't know how or where to do that, right? People are looking for their best, perfect job. But I've really been thinking, I told my friend the other day, I was like, been really thinking about what I'm good at. And that doesn't necessarily have to be your job, right? You're very much a people person and you love to chit chat and get to know people. So that you're going to use everywhere. And that can create a ton of different businesses, right? So I think even just getting down to what we really like to do and what excites us can create something bigger.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Clothing, I know, is a common theme for you because even before you started your company, you were working in the clothing industry.
I've been doing that for 27, 30 years.
That's amazing. And I
Yeah.
could just imagine, like, I wish I was shopping with you and you're just like, okay, Shanice, now try this on. Or
Yeah.
I don't, I'm like, let's just hang out and let's just, try a few things. I can just imagine how much fun it is with you. And when you're going through that process with someone and you are achieving whatever goal it is, because I imagine people come in and they say, I want to feel this way, or I want to look this way, or whatever the case may be. So you go through that process with people in your industry. And then you've translated it into what's that whisper, that clothing line and product line. So, who would you say is the person who you are speaking to in your product and clothing line? And what is it
Oh,
that you think that they are either searching for or want to feel buying your
well,
products?
okay. I mean, those are a couple different questions because mostly I have men that I help at work. But I mean, any kind of business you're doing with people comes down to customer service, getting to know, love on your customers, taking care of them, hearing them. And I probably have, there's a couple of us that have the most patience for customers. Not that people don't have patience or not great with their customers, but some people need a little more patience. And I'm one of those people that people can go to because I really try to see why they're putting these walls up for themselves, or why are you being so, I don't know, particular, right? Trying to say all the positive things. And then I was like, well, we're just going to keep building this relationship and they're going to come back for more. And we're going to figure things out. Sometimes people haven't shopped for years and they don't even know what they want. So I go, we're going to date all the friends you don't want. We're going to date all the pieces of clothing you don't want and we'll figure it out. Right. And just make it really like simple. And I try to make it fun. And what was the second part of your question about my business? Oh, who am I trying to like niche to? I think people that are in the same realm I am, trying to think outside the box, listen to their own whispers, do something different, or I mean, or even just someone just trying to feel encouraged, right? To be, I just want to inspire people to listen to their own whispers. And that's pretty short, but it says a lot.
Yes, it's short and sweet and
Yeah.
exactly what we need to hear because people who are listening right now and are resonating with this, I can't wait for them to run over and buy your products because they are absolutely going to love them.
Well, and I don't think my kids are my audience. Yes, we have our own conversations, but they're not going to be like, Mom, I can't wait till your next episode comes out. I mean, we all know we have a certain niche. I mean, if you're going to be talking about real estate, and maybe I want to dabble and know a little bit. Yes. I mean, I've listened to all your podcasts, but we might all go to the ice cream store, but we're not all going to like the same flavor. But we all love ice cream. Right. And I think maybe we forget to cheer each other on in that aspect. But you feel like you should fit a mold or be this way or that, but maybe you should do your own version. Even when they were doing art, my one son would get really frustrated because he's a perfectionist in that realm. But I'm like, but your picture doesn't have to look like their picture. It has to be your representation of your art. But the same idea. Like we had to do that art challenge the other day. I don't know if you were doing that with the flowers
Yes, it
and
was
just
amazing.
draw. It was great. I was like, okay, I did something. Let's go. And not overthink these things because then you just kind of learn. So I just want to inspire people to listen to their whispers already. Let's go.
Let's go. It's time. It's overtime.
Yeah, and I think, and much like you, I don't want people to get down on themselves all the time. Right. And I was feeling that way earlier today and I was like, okay, why is this thought coming by? So I think even why we think those happen, or like maybe when you're in high school or middle school, you just feel so jealous of everybody, or they tease you and it's not very nice. I was just like tell my kids, I'm like, stop listening to them. Right. You just put up that wall. And we have to do that sometimes with our own inner voice because she's in there. Tell me I'm not
Absolutely.
smart enough sometimes. So,
And that's a great thing that you're talking about with your kids because sometimes we do have to put up that wall. And that wall is also known as boundaries that will not be
well,
crossed.
and today I was like, I need to take down this wall brick by brick. Maybe you inspect the brick so you can see why you're thinking that thought.
There you
Right. Who,
go.
yeah. Did somebody at school tell you that thought? That you're stupid or that you can't do it? I mean, because we all have naysayers, but that's their own limiting beliefs.
Right. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
when we realize, like you so eloquently put earlier, that whether it's teasing, other forms of criticism, when we realize that all that really is a reflection of that person and their relationship with self, like you mentioned to us, then it makes it so easy to create a boundary around that and simply stop standing for it.
Yeah. Well, we have to do that 10-second breath. first, right? Before we have a reaction. And that's got to be really hard when we're kids growing up because we don't know. We don't know unless you've been taught to take care of, oh, that's just them. I mean, yeah, we all tell our kids probably that. But, and I was like, you don't know what's going on in their house. You
Yeah,
know, maybe they have a brother that's a jerk and the parents don't even know the brother or sister is a jerk. You don't know.
it's true.
Yeah.
And when it comes to these situations like we were talking about where we wish we could just run in on a white horse and save someone, it really is in their best interest to just allow them to go through their process and at the same time display to them the possibility through the way we live, right? Being that beaming light, being able to have these conversations openly and put good out in the world and pray for them. I'm definitely a praying woman. So that's something that I also do. Those are just the ways in which we can start to make a change. And it doesn't happen overnight because the habits weren't formed overnight. But slowly and surely, when we keep with it, it does start to make an impact.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we all have lessons to learn and everybody has to learn them at their own speed, just to
Yeah.
bounce off what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes the most loving thing we can do is allow people to come to those conclusions on their own, to go through their process and to be there as a sounding board.
Or be there when they're ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
most definitely.
And I am just so in awe of you doing that in your own life and inviting others to do the same. And I so appreciate you. And I just want to give you an opportunity. If there's anything that we didn't touch on that you want to share, certainly feel free.
Uh, no, I felt pretty open. I feel like you just cracked me open, Shanice.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I have no problem just bursting into tears at any
I feel
moment.
like your coaching and your empowerment is going to be go really well. I think it's going to be so awesome for you
Thank you, my love. I
because
appreciate it.
yeah, even just helping somebody. I was even thinking about doors. I was like, okay, if I'm going to set the bricks down, I got to start leaving the doors open a little bit because like all the little examples we've said about listening to a whisper, seeing something that's right there, but you didn't see it yesterday. Better open that door a little bit so you can start seeing these things that are meant for you to be seen or running into somebody that you didn't know you need to meet. Things
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, this has been so nourishing. I greatly appreciate your time, your friendship, your love, all of it. You
Ditto.
are, thank you. You're incredible. And I am so excited for my audience to get to experience you and your brand. And I can't wait to see my friends, family, all of these listeners wearing your clothes.
That's cute. Well, yeah, they can find me at What's That Whisper on Instagram, what's thatwhisper.com, and What's That Whisper podcast. So I made it really simple. It's all the same.
I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much,
Oh, my
Heather.
pleasure. I love being here.
Well, I will see you next time.
Yeah. Like tomorrow.
What an impactful conversation that was. I am so glad you got to meet my sweet, talented friend, Heather. Remember to go to whatsthatwhisper.com and use the code Shanice30 to get 30% off of your order. I cannot wait to hear what you all think about the incredible products there. I also really would love to know what it is that you feel called to do in your life, what it is that you are stepping into right now to make a difference in this world. Together, we can make so many positive changes. So let's get after it. Talking to you is one of my favorite parts of the week. I hope you got something out of this episode today. If you'd like to help more people find I Am Not Naming This Podcast by Shanice Jedinay, You can do so by subscribing and leaving a review. Also, feel free to share with a friend or family member.